win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air, let them stay there. Woo! All we do is win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air, let them stay there. Another Wednesday, another win. Oh, what a wonderful thumbnail. What a wonderful Wednesday. This is a wonderful Wednesday. A wonderful MAGA, magnificent Wednesday filled wins. A Wednesday filled with wins. A winning Wednesday. Can you get your Trump hands? I need everybody with their Trump hands and say, we still have the majority. We still have the majority. I said we still have the majority. All week I've been talking to you about the congressional math. You didn't ask and wonder why we've been talking about the congressional math. I needed you to understand the mathematics, man, because all we do is win Wednesday. We're going to talk about the congressional math, how much money was spent, how much propaganda, how much tippy-toe dancing, how much gold dance, Democrats dance. Do the Democrat dance, do the Democrat dance, do the Democrat dance, do the Democrat dance. They outspent MAGA. They outspent MAGA Republicans. They outspent the red 3-1 billionaire Democrats. Wait a minute, I thought the Democrats was the party of the people. I thought the Democrats was the party of the working man. No, the Democrats are the party of the billionaires. Billion. And the billionaire Democrats put it on display. Now we know MAGA. I've always told you MAGA knows the climate. We're going to read to you J.D. Vance put out a great message. Donald Trump put out a great message on Truth Social, and I agree with J.D. Vance. Shout out to Vice President, next future President 2028, J.D. Vance. Shout out to Vance, who said it is more important that we turn out the vote. Man, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA and all the hard work they have been doing on college campuses across the nation, registering voters, inspiring people, and to be politically activated again. So you cannot be persuaded by this billion-dollar Democratic machine. I should say multi-billion-dollar Democratic propaganda machine. Billions on billions, and we still held strong. I said the red wall is strong. Can we get in the chat? The red wall is strong, and the DEMS lost all night long. Now you see the Democrats trying to act like they got a couple victories here and there. The Democrats in Virginia, but we're gonna talk about congressional math today. We're gonna talk about congressional math today, and what really happened with these 5 seats. What really happened with a special election? Did you guys know this was a special election? This is an off year typically, and why are we having these special elections only 10 months into the Donald Trump presidency? Only 10 months into the Trump presidency, we're having special elections to detour from the MAGA magnificent presidency of Donald Trump. He's been doing a magnificent job. Did you know the hostages are already home? Did you know the hostages are already home? We're talking about peace with Putin right now. We're talking about conflicts going back to 2014 in the Obama-Biden administration. I said we're talking about conflicts going back to 2014 in the Obama administration. People want to blame Trump for high price. Y'all remember how much eggs cost under Brandon? Do y'all remember it was $8 gas? I live in California. Y'all seen the gas prices in California under the last administration. $8 to $10 gas at Chevron in Miami and Los Angeles. I just saw the Trump interview. We talked about the Trump 60-minute interview. He said, Trump said we pulling up on $2 gas. How would that help you for Christmas? Those of us who work jobs, those of us who don't qualify for food stamps, and that gas is almost like a tax. You know, I live in California. California has the highest gas in the country. They have the highest gas taxes. Do you remember what Trump said in his 60 Minutes interview? We're coming up on $2 gas, but it's a shame for people who live in California because the California California Democrats, even if I lower gas, you know what they do? They add taxes. They add taxes, but no one knows where the money is going. It would be one thing, California Democrats, Gavin Newsom, if you taxed us all these bazillion taxes and you had water. But you don't have water. See, Gavin Newsom, that's the problem with the Democrats. The Democrats want to take, and they don't know how to reciprocate. I said the Democrats want to take, and they don't know how to reciprocate. If we're going to have the highest price gas, if I'm going to pay the most in gas taxes, you understand what I'm saying? Elon Musk left, Tesla left. We have less jobs in California because of all these taxes and litigation. Then we should at least have a reservoir full of water. And when a fire begins, in a major billion-dollar city like Los Angeles, we should have water. Isn't that right, Gavin Newsom? Since everybody wants to celebrate today, shouldn't we have water, Gavin Newsom? Shouldn't we have water? If you're going to spend billions of dollars, Thomas Siebel, Mr. Streer, if you're going to have your billion-dollar donors, let's talk about it today. Let's talk about what really took place. We're talking about election results. We're going to have a real political conversation today about the facts on the ground and the aftermath of the special election. We got to talk because I know that the American people are not being informed by the liberal media and by their liberal leaders. We're talking about a special election. Do you guys understand it's 2025? We're not supposed to have an election until 2026, 2028. We don't do elections on odd years. This is a special election. Do you understand? Because the Democrats are special. Just special. Just very special. Because the Democrats are special. You know what I noticed about this special election? No policy. Did you hear anything about policy? I've been doing my research. We've been talking about it every day. I'm looking at everything as I'm going over everything. I'm looking at the congressional math, and I'm seeing how much money was spent by billionaire Democrat donors, but I don't see any policy. Did you guys see any? I didn't see any policy being presented. I didn't see anything. All I saw was anti-Trump. That's all I saw was anti-Trump rhetoric. But did anybody see any new policy that was powerful, cosmetic, and compelling to the public from the Democratic Party? Any new Democratic leaders stand out to you? They're trying to focus on Mondani in New York, but he's never been a politician. He's not truly a Democratic leader. He doesn't have a really future in the DNC. Let's just be honest about that. So who came out victorious yesterday? So the truth is, if you look at the congressional math, the red wall held strong. Can I get MAGA magnificent winning Wednesday? All we do is win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air, let them stay there. This is a wonderful win Wednesday. God bless you too, sir. This is a wonderful win. Can I get my Trump hands? Can I get my Trump? We're gonna talk bad today. We're gonna talk bad today. $500 million. $500 million. It's important how much money the Democrats spent yesterday. Why is this important? Because we are in the middle of a shutdown and there are hungry Americans. There are federal employees who have been furloughed, 2 million to be exact, and there are essential federal employees who have been going to work for 30 days without pay. But the Democrat billionaire donor, now think about this, the Democrat billionaire donors could have created all type of contingency plans for these air traffic controllers and federal workers who are essential, who have to go to work. How do you go to work for 30 days without pay? How do you buy gas? How do you buy food? How do you buy toiletries? How do you go to work for 30 days without pay? How do you compensate someone like an air traffic controller who we need desperately? Thank you for your services. But how do you compensate him after not paying him for 30 days and he had to find a way to work? There's no compensation in my book. There's no compensation. These are the real facts of the matter. But let that sink in your head, the realities of real Americans. And let's talk about $500 million. Can we have a talk this morning? I want to have a real talk this morning. Can we talk about they shouldn't go to work? Listen, Rose. Rose, check this out, Rose. If this is why I say God bless the air traffic controllers. Thank you for your services. Because Rose, I understand I'm American just like you. But Rose, if they don't go to work, people will die. Do you understand? Air traffic controllers would have been The position was made into a federal position after 9/11 because it's so important, the safety of Americans. So people are still flying in planes. Do you understand that, Rose? If you are still flying in the plane right now in America, what you need to understand is there are employees in that tower making sure that planes don't crash who have not gotten paid in 36 days. No, no flight. They shouldn't go to work. I understand what you mean, but if and TSA agents too, TSA agents are going to work after 30 days in no pay so that you feel safe in the airport. Everyone is focused on food stamps, but there are more stark realities, harsh realities out here as a result of the Democratic shutdown. Today, we're talking about the results of the election. Did you vote? Did you vote in the election yesterday? I am going to educate my audience that it was a special election. Do you understand special election? And there were special things that occurred during this special election. Multi-billionaire Democrats outspent the Republicans on ads 3-1. You have to understand what took place yesterday before we get into the congressional math. I have been talking to you about the congressional math so that you understand. I got this pimple on my forehead. Don't worry about it. I've been talking to you about this congressional math so you understand the shutdown. So you need to understand when I say congressional math, it is the House majority. How many seats in the House are being held by Republicans versus the Democrats? When we talk about Jasmine Crockett and the 5 seats, when we talk about Gavin Newsom in the special election where they spent hundreds of millions of dollars to regain those 5 seats in California, you must understand the congressional math. How many seats are in the House and who currently has the majority? Who currently are you seeing my thumbnail? Did you see my thumbnail? Are you understanding what we're discussing today? The congressional math post-election 2025, a special election. You should be wondering, number one, if you're in school right now, you should be asking your teacher, why are we having an election in 2025? Over 300 elections yesterday. Typically, we have elections in even years. 2026, we're going to have the midterms. In 2028 will be the next presidential election. But November 2025 is a special year with a special election where, what about Texas? That's why. Talk about it because Greg Abbott, ahead of time, because of demographic changes, added 5 seats to Texas. Now, Jasmine Crockett got on a plane, created a big deal about these 5 seats. What people didn't understand about the congressional math is that the Republicans already held a majority in the House. When Jasmine Crockett decided to make these 5 seats in the state of Texas a national issue, I don't think anyone understands the congressional math. See, the Republicans have the House, the Republicans have the Senate, and the Republicans have the White House. So Jasmine Crockett made it a national issue over these 5 seats as if these 5 seats would give the Democrats a majority. But look at my numbers. Did you see my numbers? The congressional math says that the numbers in the House is 219 to 213. So even with 5 seats, this is what I've been teaching about the congressional math. Even with 5 seats, you must understand how power is wielded and generated in the branches of government and how bills and laws are passed. Why did the big, beautiful bill get passed? And what is Trump talking about when Trump says that it's important that we keep the majority and that we get rid of the filibuster so that we can get the laws and bills passed? What Trump is explaining to you is how bills are passed in the government. You go from the House to the Senate, and then the president signs it into law. Now, what you want is that you want a majority in the House so that you can get your bills up to the Senate so that they can get discussed and become actual law. Currently, Republicans hold the majority in the House, 219 to 213. But wait a minute, let's have a real talk this morning. I should say that Republicans still hold the majority. Woo! Look at we have a real, come we say magnificent Republicans still hold the majority. I almost forgot it's all you do is win Wednesday, because Republicans is all we doing is win. Did you vote? I said Republicans still hold the majority. Jasmine Crockett, before those 5 seats, the Republicans had the majority. Jasmine Crockett, after those 5 seats, the Republicans still hold the majority. Can we have a real talk this morning? In the House, 2019 to 213. But those were the numbers before Tuesday's special election. Did you guys understand? Because a lot of times right now in the liberal media, what you will hear about is victories in Virginia and victories in Georgia. I don't care about the victories in Virginia. I don't care about the New Jersey governor and being a Democrat. I don't care about Democratic strongholds still remaining Democratic strongholds. What you need to understand is the congressional math. 2 things this morning. Not just the fact that we don't care about what you did in Georgia. We don't care about what you did in Virginia. All that matters is that we hold the House. Can I say, we protect this House? Everybody in the chat right now, all my MAGA magnificent MAGA men, all my MAGA magnificent MAGA women, we must protect this House in the chat right now. I need you to say it for me right now in the chat. We must protect this House. Woo, woo, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. We must protect this House, baby. Did you hear Mike Johnson? Do you hear Trump? This is not a joke. Hey, I'm having fun because it's a podcast. I'm extremely attractive. I'm extremely melanated. I'm extremely informative and intelligent on the topics. So I have a lot of fun doing this because it's not only informative, it's a podcast. It's a podcast and you can kiss my ass. It's a podcast and you can kiss my ass. Did I say that right? I said it's a podcast and you can kiss my ass. Back at it like a crack at it, automatic like a phomatic, built for tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last, so we're going to get this done real fast. You are watching the Perfect Timing Podcast. Today, this show is called Top of the Mid-Morning from an OG perspective, where we discuss politics, geopolitics. This is the #1 chat room for political conversation and discourse on YouTube. If you're not here, you're not there. You're not anywhere. If you're not here, you're not part of the conversation. I promise you, get in the chat. Get in the chat, get into the debate, get into the conversation. You will understand quickly where you are and that you are at the place to be to discuss politics in America. Today, we are discussing post-election results. Yes, the MAGA Republicans had a very hard fight yesterday, but what is important is that your favorite MAGA correspondent is here this morning to remind you that we protected the House and the red wall held strong. I said the red wall held strong. 2019, 2013 is the congressional math. And you need to understand why you go without food stamps, why you go without food stamps in December and November. You need to understand the facts on the ground. Democrats spent 3-1 in yesterday's special election. Almost $1 billion was spent between campaigns for Zohran Mamdani to 5 seats in California, to Virginia, to New Jersey, to Georgia, only for MAGA Republicans to keep the majority in the House and the Senate. Did you understand what we're discussing today? Do you understand what happened yesterday? The Democrats, you believe, double tap, hit the like button. I don't know what's been going on with the likes. Double tap, hit the like button. I don't know, is your finger stuck up your ass? Take your finger out of your ass and click it to the cell phone, okay? Boop, 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 boop. Double tap, hit the like button. That's how you do it. Boop, 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 boop. There you go. Double tap, hit the like button. Let's get this shit going, man. Y'all need to kiss my ass this morning, man. Come on now. Okay. Where we gonna start? We're gonna start with Snap. We're gonna start with Snap. I wanted to ask a question. Where we are with the benefits and where we are with the $5 billion contingency. You understand what I'm saying? I want to know what's up with the benefits and where we are. Where are we with Snap? Where are we with SNAP and the $5 billion emergency fund and other entitlements? Did you guys know that we are in the longest shutdown in American history? 36 days. 36 days in the shutdown. I just wanted you to know that. 36 days in the shutdown. The longest shutdown before today was 35 days. That was under the first Trump administration. But today we reached 36 days. This is the longest shutdown in American history. Now remember, keep in mind that we have a clean CR, right? We have a clean CR, and this is the first time that we ever had a shutdown with a clean CR, and this is the longest shutdown in American history. Let's go over the election. We started off with the election. Let's keep going with the election. Miss Perk Tommy said, hi, how you doing, Miss Perk Tommy? Overview of the November 4th. Let me get some tea. Good morning. Double tap, hit the like button. Miss Perk Tommy, tell these chumps in the chat to hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, hit the super chat, hit the cash app. Put my cash app in the chat, Miss Perk Tommy. Salute to everybody watching right now. Thank you for watching. Overview of the November 4th, 2025 election results. 2025 U.S. elections were off year. I just talked about that. Off-year contest focusing on gubernatorial races in New Jersey and Virginia, a high-profile mayoral race in New York City, state legislative elections in New Jersey, Virginia, and several special elections to the U.S. House of Representatives, and key ballot measures like California's Proposition 50 on congressional redistricting. Now, Prop 50 did pass. No full national congressional elections occur, as those are scheduled for 2026. This is important to understand that this was a special election and Democrats had $1 billion to splurge. While you are going hungry with your EBT, they're going to spend the same money in 2026. You got to understand that the way the framers designed this is we never wanted billionaires to have so much power in our government to where billionaires get to dictate policy. It's supposed to be the citizens and you, but the billionaires are controlling politics. It is not supposed to be like that. But it is so odd that the Democrats are the ones with the most billionaires spending the most money, but they're losing because it's billionaires against the American people, and the billionaires, all they have is the propaganda and the low frequency people who buy into the propaganda of the billionaire. Let's take a listen. No full national congressional elections occur, at those are scheduled for 2026. Democrats achieved a broad sweep in major races, signaling strong voter dissatisfaction with President Trump's second-term policies that have only been in effect for 10 months. All this is saying is the propaganda machine is working. Trump has only been in president for 10 months. Your economics has nothing to do with Trump. Geopolitics has nothing to do with Trump, unless you're talking about the fixes that he bringing hostages home and getting peace in Russia. But as far as the causation of these things, to blame Trump after 10 months is absolutely lazy, right? It's just intellectually lazy, including a prolonged government shutdown, rising costs from tariffs, which is untrue. Economic concerns. Republicans, despite holding a slim U.S. House majority entering the night 2019 to 2013 with 3 vacancies, saw limited gains and faced setbacks in redistricting efforts. So this is being very favorable to the DEMS, but the numbers remain 2019 to 2013. That means the Republicans held the wall, and we need to get out there and keep voting to keep the Republicans in the majority. But basically, after $500 million spent, the Democrats still lost. Key themes for exit polls. The economy was the top issue, cited by 45 to 50% of voters across. The economy is the top issue, and people misunderstand the tariffs. That's why I've been doing my job, y'all. I've been yelling about these tariffs. With majorities favoring Democrats, despite GOP advantages on immigration and crime, Turnout was high in urban areas with independents breaking heavily for Democrats, plus 13 points to 19 points in New Jersey and Virginia. Now, I had a couple pushback on that, so let me see where my pushback. So I wanted to know, did the 5 seats that Jasmine Crockett and Gavin Newsom created a national shitstorm over and spent $1 billion, were they consequential? Did it matter? No, the 5-seat special elections did not change the partisan balance of the U.S. House. Let me read that again directly from AI. Did the 5 seats matter? No, the 5 seats did not change the partisan balance of the U.S. House. 2019 to 2013, after Jasmine Crockett created a national stir of these 5 seats, after Gavin Newsom spent $500 million on these 5 seats, what changed? Nothing. It was a push. Nothing changed. The Republicans still have the majority in the House, and the government is still shut down, and you still don't have food. Ain't this something? The Democrats are sinister, boy. The result, Republicans retain a 2019-2013 majority with 1 vacancy, also a safe Republican hold. That's the results after yesterday. So yes, the 5 seats did not flip control. I've been saying this from the beginning, that Jasmine Crockett was a non-starter from the beginning, that she is incompetent. Stephen A. Smith was correct. Charlie Kirk was correct. Trump is correct that she is a low IQ individual, that she was just simply doing political propaganda because Jasmine Crockett wants you to see her new outfit. Jasmine Crockett wants you to see her new hairstyle. But is the 5 seats consequential? No. The 5 seats did not matter. It was a push. And this is why I've been talking to you about congressional math, because it was so important that you understood that Jasmine Crockett was wasting money, wasting time. When she got on the plane and left Texas, she should have been fired. You cannot abandon your job. And she lied to you, said that I left Texas over these 5 seats when the Republicans already had the majority, when the Republicans were going to maintain the majority. Those 5 seats meant nothing. Then Gavin Newsom spent $500 million in California on a special election to so-called gain the 5 seats back. Are we paying attention? I need that. Why? Let's have a real talk this morning. Gavin Newsom spent $500 million to gain the 5 seats back. What is the result, ladies and gentlemen? We still have a Republican majority, but not just in the House. This is why it was so evil. This is why the shutdown is so evil on that side of the Democrats. This is why Jasmine Crockett is so incompetent. Because the Republicans don't maintain the majority simply in the House. The Republicans have a majority in the Senate, and there is a Republican in the White House. What Jasmine Crockett and what Gavin Newsom did yesterday was waste your time and money. And I'm talking about during an era. Listen to this. Gavin Newsom and Jasmine Crockett wasted your time and money when you don't have it. Think about what I'm saying. The Democrats wasted your time and money when you don't have it. Listen, I'm not just talking about food stamps. I'm talking about federal employees, 2 million in federal employees who have been furloughed. And if you are a Democrat federal employee, you must ask, why did you spend that $500 million and we didn't get anything? The Republicans still have the majority. If you are a furloughed federal employee, you have to ask billionaire Siebel, billionaire Seater, billionaire Soros, what did we gain? I'm still unemployed. I still have to go to work without pay. Billionaire Democrat, what did we gain? Do you guys understand my arguments this morning? What did you gain? The 5 seats would never matter. They never mattered because the numbers. Let's do the math. Congressional math. 2019 to 2013. Let's say the Democrats won those 5 seats. The Republicans would still have a 1-seat majority. That would make it 2018 to 2019. Do you guys understand? 218 to 219. The Republicans, even with the 5 seats, would have held the majority. But you are hungry. You're hungry right now. You don't have food stamps. Some of you cannot go to work. Some of you have to go to work and not get paid. But the Democrats have billions of dollars to waste on nothing. Can someone explain what the Democrats got? They have $1 billion to waste on nothing. And I think it's relevant that we talk about it this morning. I think it's very relevant that we're talking about it this morning, right? So as of today, November 5th, what is the status of SNAP and EBT? As of today, November 5th, what is the status of SNAP and EBT? As of today, the U.S. federal government is in a prolonged shutdown, now over a month long, which has severely disrupted SNAP funding, the nation's largest anti-hunger program serving 42 million low-income Americans. SNAP benefits, which average around $350 per household monthly, were not issued on the usual schedule starting on November 1st. Write this down and keep these notes. This has created widespread uncertainty, with states, courts, and food banks stepping in to migrate the impact. Below is a breakdown of key elements from your query. The $5 billion emergency contingency fund, emergency aliments, and other related entitlements. Listen, number one, let's get into this $5 billion contingency fund that the federal judges said that Trump had to give out. Congress established a SNAP contingency reserve, approximately $6 billion at the start of the fiscal year of 2026, October 1st, 2025. Drawn from prior year appropriations, $3 billion from fiscal year 2024 and $3 billion from fiscal year 2025. This fund is explicitly designed for program operations during emergencies. Do you guys consider a shutdown an emergency, including government shutdowns to cover benefits and administrative costs? The amount has dipped to about $5 billion, and there was $6 billion. What happened to the money? We'll talk about that later. Okay, so current status. The Trump administration initially refused to tap this fund, arguing it was not legally available for regular monthly benefits and reserving it for disasters. This stance reversed after lawsuits from 26 states and nonprofits on November 3rd. 2 federal judges in Massachusetts and Rhode Island ruled without unlawful, ordering the USDA to use the fund for at least partial November benefits. Okay, the USDA announced it would fully deplete the $5 billion fund over 50% of eligible households' normal allotments for November, totaling $4.6 billion for benefits plus $600 million for state admin costs. This falls short of the full $9 billion needed. We talked about this yesterday. So there's an emergency contingency fund for food stamps that has $5 billion. It's down to $4 billion now because they keep spinning it up. You need $9 billion for November. So that leaves us with the $5 billion shortfall. 50% of the people will either get half or won't get. They haven't explained how they're going to do it. Payments are delayed. Procedural hurdles mean that many won't arrive until mid to late November. Payments are delayed, but please listen, it won't be your full payment because they only have $4 billion. They need $9 billion. So only 50% of eligible households normal allotments. Do you guys hear that? Only 50% of eligible households will get their normal allotments. Listen, and you will not get the money because of procedural hurdles. The money won't arrive until mid to late November. You won't get your full food stamps for November, and you won't get them to almost to the end of November. You better save them. And no additional funds will be transferred to avoid impacting child nutrition programs like school lunches. I didn't know school lunches would be impacted. Wow. We talked about WIC. I saw a WIC office the other day shut down. Implications. Once depleted, no reserves remain for new applicants, disaster aid, or future months. So if there's a fire, if there's a flood, we right now having rainstorms, if there's a tornado, there is no money left. The administration warns of catastrophic consequences if the shutdown persists. Senate Democrats attempted but failed to pass a non-binding legislation affirming funds use, while Republicans blame Democrats blocking clean funding bill. Emergency allotments background. The emergency allotments are temporary maximum benefits boost during crisis, separate from the contingency fund. They ended nationally in March 2023, but can be activated via waivers. Current status: no broad national EAs are active for November due to the shutdown. However, states can request USDA waivers for disaster-specific aid, but approvals are stalled because nobody's at work. We talked about this. Nobody's at work. The employees are not working because they're not getting paid. Oh my God, this is very bad. This is like a domino effect. No board national EAs are active for November due to shutdown. However, listen, states can request a new waiver for disaster, but approvals are stalled. The partial contingency fund acts as a de facto emergency measure, but it's not a true EA. It's just prorated regular benefits. This is horrible. State level actions. So several states have declared SNAP emergencies and are using local funds for ad hoc boosts or distributions. Delaware, state covering full weekly benefits through November. 20 million, 60,000. Maryland, 10 million to food banks, state of emergency declared. In Maryland, they don't have food stamps, but they gave 10 million to food banks and declared a state of emergency. That's in Maryland. Isn't DC in Maryland? Let's pay attention to these numbers. Minnesota, 4 million to food pantries, $73 million federal gap unfilled. Listen, Minnesota, 4 million to that 4 million ain't nothing. Minnesota's a huge state. Minnesota, 4 million to food pantries and $73 million federal gap. Now, wait a minute. Isn't the governor of Minnesota the ex wannabe vice president? Please remember that Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota and he ain't doing nothing for those people. Maine, 170,000 at risk. Call 211 for aid. Wow. Maine don't even have money for the food banks. Listen to this. Maine, the state of Maine, isn't that Bernie Sanders? Maine, 170,000 Americans at risk. There is nothing in Maine. What they're telling you to do in Maine is call 211 for aid referrals. That is sad. That is scary and that is sad. Pray for the people in Maine. Northern Islands, 3.9 million state appropriations for NAP SNAP equivalent. North Carolina, coordinated partial federal payments, lawsuit filler. Virginia, Louisiana, New York, states of emergency. Can you believe that? Shout out to the new governor of New York. How you doing up there, governor, and the new mayor? States of emergency, partial local funding to food banks. They can't even fund the food banks. New York can't even fund the food banks. No federal reimbursement. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. No federal reimbursement promised? Do you guys hear this? The Democrats just spent $1 billion on the election, didn't get anything, and this is the facts on the ground that we have a state of emergency in New York. Zondani, Mondani, Zora, Mondani, yay, you have a state of emergency. Why are you celebrating this victory? Why are you celebrating Mondani when you have a state of emergency and no federal reimbursement promised? But how did the Democrats win in New York? How did the Democrats win? They promised free busing. They promised free. Who's going to pay for it, Mondani? Who's going to pay for it, Zorani? Who's going to pay for it, New Jersey? Who's going to pay for the free health care? Who's going to pay for the free buses? Who's going to pay for the low rent? Who's going to pay for it? Why didn't you ask him before you voted for Zondani, Mondani, Morani? He's a moron. He's not a Mondani. He's a Morani. Zorani, the Morani. How do you pay for it? Can you tell me how do you pay for it? Timeline. If the shutdown ends soon, full retroactive payments could follow. Otherwise, expect ongoing reductions. Recent legislative changes. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act passed in July 2025 introduced major SNAP reforms effective November 1st. Woo, can we have a real talk? It's going to get hard. This conversation going to get difficult. Listen to what I just said. This is why I say Chuck Schumer stole your Christmas. Chuck Schumer stole your last food stamps. Chuck Schumer stole your last welfare check. Listen to this. The Big Beautiful Bill, the Act of 2025, signed into law. Listen, you guys, I've been telling you about this all week, and Chuck Schumer trying to change the law by procedural misconduct and putting it into a clean CR. You must understand that things that Chuck Schumer are asking for are already law. They were in the Big Beautiful Bill. They're already law. Now listen, that law goes into effect November 1st. Listen to this. The One Big Beautiful Bill of 2025 signed by President Trump on the 4th of July. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. He signed it on the 4th of July. Introduced major SNAP reforms effective November 1st. Y'all want to read about it? I'll read about it. Here we go. Stricter eligibility. Net income for a family of 4 capped at $32,000 a year. Federal poverty line. Non-citizens face new restriction. Ineligible unless qualified. So, do you guys remember when the non-citizens got $10,000 on the EBT card and we all complained? We was like, they got $10,000 on the EBT card. They not even citizens. They never paid taxes. Why are they getting $10,000 on the EBT card? Well, Doge and the magical Republicans heard your complaints. I don't know why Americans acted like we never complained. Why are you acting like now that Trump is president and he's fixing and addressing you? See, the Democrats don't ever listen to you. The Democrats don't listen to you. But the American public said we disagree with the immigrants because Biden and the border czar didn't know how to handle the border. And Americans said we don't want to give out $10,000 a month in food stamps. So the MAGA Republicans fixed it. In the Big Beautiful Bill, it's a law. I need you guys to understand in the chat that this is a law now. The Big Beautiful Bill made it a law. Trump is the greatest president ever. Trump is the greatest president ever. Trump is the greatest, most productive president ever. Now, we went from complaining about non-citizens getting food stamps upwards of $5,000 to now having a law that prohibits them from receiving the funds. Isn't that policy? Isn't that politics? Isn't that why we voted for Trump? I need to ask these questions because I don't understand sometimes. We all, Democrat and Republicans, said we don't want to give non-citizens thousands of dollars in food stamps. Remember that? That's why Trump won 80% in the election. Now it's a law. Can we keep going? So this went into effect November 1st. Benefit reduction. Largest historical cuts, including work requirements. Listen to this. Benefit reduction. This is law in the Big Beautiful Bill. 10 to 15% will be reduced from how much you receive in benefits. Largest historical cuts to entitlements, including work requirements for more adults and reduced deductions. A 120-day grace period ends November 1st for misapplications. Do you understand? On November 1st, you were getting kicked off of welfare anyway. Implementation, rolling out at household recertification. States like Massachusetts are notifying clients. These coincide with the shutdown, exacerbating delays. Oh my. I've been saying this. Listen, I'm going to read. This is so important why Chuck Schumer and the Democrats who knew November 1st had these implications. It's so evil and sinister. Because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats knew the Big Beautiful Bill was coming November 1st. Why would Chuck Schumer shut the government down now? I have no idea, but it's Horrible that they see. The Republicans don't have anything to benefit from shutting the government down. We already got everything we wanted in the big beautiful bill. We already got the reductions to entitlements. We already kicked people off of welfare. We were going to save money November 1st, no matter what. The Republicans already won. We already won. We passed the big beautiful bill. These cuts are already law. Why did the Democrats listen to this? Rolling out, listen, the implementation of the big beautiful bill, new cuts, 10 to 15% per average, are rolling out November 1st. To households for recertification. So that means November 1st, you were always going to get a phone call to recertify and explain to me the facts of your life. And if you did not meet the full requirements, you were always going to get cut off on November 1st. Listen to this. States like Massachusetts are notifying clients. This coincides with the shutdown, exacerbating delays, makes it even worse. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats stole your last welfare check. Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats stole your last food stamp payment. It's absolutely sinister. It's absolutely evil. Impacts on other programs. WIC, Women, Infants, and Children, fully funded via a $750 million tariff revenue transfer. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Because no one's talking about it, but MAGA independent media. I'm going to read that again, WIC, because I've been educating you guys on WIC all week. Now, turns out that the tariffs, you know, so many people troll me in my chat and they think they know about tariffs and that they don't be honest about the trade deficit that America has been in for the past 50 years. Nancy Pelosi talked about it. There's a reason why workers' wages in America have been stagnant, because we have Walmart. Do you guys remember when Walmart came to your town? It was in the 90s. It wasn't in the 70s. It wasn't in the 60s. Do you guys remember when Walmart came to your town? Because I remember when Walmart came to town. And Walmart is what closed small businesses, not Trump. I'd like to tell a story about Napa, California. I grew up in the Bay Area in California. There used to be a beautiful grocery store called the Villaragus Market in Napa, California. Now, Napa fought against Walmart. Can anybody talk about small towns like Napa that you come from in your respective states? Do you have any stories where your town fought Walmart? Seriously, the city council. So Napa fought Walmart in big box stores. And they won for like 10 years. So Napa and the city council told Walmart, you're not allowed to build a Walmart in Napa. Why? Because Napa, California is a destination for people around the world to come to wineries, some of the wineries, small batch wineries, small restaurants. The whole Napa experience is based on small businesses. That's why people come here to bed and breakfasts, right? You come to Napa, you go to Paris, you go to these places on vacation. You want the small town feel. You want to live, you want to stay in the bed and breakfast. You want to go to a family-owned winery that's been around for hundreds of years with rich old vines and rich old history. The Napa City Council understood if Walmart gets built in Napa, then a lot of the small businesses, the culture, the rich history of Napa will go away, because Walmart will sell wine and cheese and crackers cheaper than any of the little shops, the little cute shops on the road of Highway 12, Highway 29, when you're going up to St. Helena and Calistoga and driving through the beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous Napa Valley. You stop off and you buy cheese and wine. But after 15 years, Walmart won. And you know what happened when Walmart finally won in the lobby, the billion-dollar lobby? You need to understand how politics work in America. When Walmart finally won and was able to build a store in Napa, guess what happened? Can anybody guess what happened? Villaragus Supermarket went out of business. The Villaragus Supermarket was a small Italian delicatessen with multiple locations in Napa that paid paid great wages for local Napa people, not people from out of town, not corporate Walmart people, not corporate distributors from Walmart, but local natives to Napa, worked at Valergus Market, made a good living, were able to buy homes and create a great life in Napa. When Walmart came, Walmart lowered wages to $7 an hour and lowered prices, and Valergus Market could not compete. Do you guys know how Walmart was able to come into small American towns and kill small business? Well, there was Bill Clinton in these arrangements with the Democrats. Isn't it funny? Bill Clinton and the Democrats created this trade agreement with China and overseas countries where they will create goods for zero on the dollar. See, we wouldn't charge them a tariff. See, China could make these things for a penny and then ship them into America quickly because America was the biggest police officer. America stopped producing goods. America started being a police officer. We told China and Eastern countries, you produce the goods and we will protect the ships. Then you can ship these things into America cheaply and fast and sell them at Walmart for $5. Do you remember Black Friday? $5 waffle maker, $5 blender, $5 toaster. But America, my grandmother bought her blender and toaster from Sears. It was made out of steel. It came with a lifetime warranty and it cost $100. Walmart says, no, I'm going to sell your grandmother a plastic toaster for $5. And then America changed because we did not put tariffs on China. Typically, when America wants to sell a toaster in China, you know what China says? You have to pay a tariff because we don't want Chinese to lose money and we don't want Chinese companies to go out of business because we make toasters here. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Chinese charge American companies like Oyster a high tariff because they make toasters there. Why do we want you to sell toasters in China? We already make toasters. So if you're an American company, number one, you have to pass rigid requirements that you are making a high quality toaster because we don't want you to blow up our energy grid. Number two, you have to pay a high tariff in order to sell your toasters in America if you don't make them here. But on the flip end of the spectrum, we never charged China. China didn't get charged to come into here. So Cadillac, if you want to buy a Cadillac in China, it costs a lot of money because they make cars in China and they don't want American cars in China. But if you want to buy a Chinese import in America, it can be $10,000 for a Hyundai, $13,000 for a Toyota. How is that possible? We never charged them a tariff. So did anybody ever ask what the tariff was before Trump? I did. I'm a MAGA Republican. I did my research. What was the tariff on the EU before Trump? What was the tariff in Japan and China before Trump? It was below 2%. It was anywhere, depending on the product, from 0 to 2%, meaning China paid no tariff. China paid, but Levi's could not sell Levi's in Japan because Japan has Japanese denim. It's expensive, so Levi's built a plant to sell denim. Let me give you an example where Trump gave us an example of Harley Davidson, so you understand the tariffs. India is a billion population, one of the most populated countries in the world, continents in the world, billions of people. So they can't have cars. They are a motorcycle culture. They ride motorcycles because there's so many people. Harley Davidson, in order to make money, they need to sell motorcycles in India because there's billions of people and they can't get enough motorcycles. So we make motorcycles. We need to be in India selling motorcycles. Guess what India did to the American company Harley Davidson? They charged them a 200% tariff. Can we have a real talk this morning? Because you guys hear about 50% tariffs. You hear about 80% tariffs. You don't know how much American companies like a Harley Davidson, like a Levi's, like a Coca-Cola get charged to ship their goods into these countries because they don't want American goods. So Harley Davidson, India, put a 200% tariff on Harley motorcycles. Did you guys know that? So Harley Davidson could not sell motorcycles in India because the tariffs were so high. Guess what India did in order to be in the motorcycle market in India? They built a manufacturing plant in India to get around the 200% tariffs. Now, Harley Davidson can sell motorcycles for a profit in India because they built a plant, and now Indians have jobs. And guess what? Indians know how to build something that only is made in America. They know how to build a Harley Davidson. Now, listen, the tariffs work the same way for America. If Donald Trump puts a high tariff on Japan and China, they are forced, like we just signed a deal the other day with the Japanese Prime Minister. Toyota is investing $10 billion into new auto plants in America because Toyota has to sell cars in America. And in order to get around the Donald Trump tariffs, Toyota has decided to build plants in America, creating jobs for American workers. This is how the tariffs work. Now, let me explain to you that the tariffs have been in effect since August 1st, and we have collected over $300 billion in tariffs since August 1st, 2025. Now, listen to this. Why did I give you that story? Because WIC, women, infants, and children, have been fully funded by the tariffs. WIC, women, infants, and children. Donald Trump, policies, not rhetoric. You understand? Politics. Policies, not rhetoric, not I hate you, Chuck Schumer, but real policies. The big beautiful bill is a policy. It's a law. The tariffs are policies. It's politics. It's actually productive. It's doing something. It's not yelling that I hate you. It's actually being productive and getting something done, right? The Democrats don't do anything but create hate and fear mongering. So we have collected billions of dollars in tariff, and WIC has been fully funded $750 million from tariff revenue. School meals protected by USDA warns further SNAP strain could divert funds. School meals could be affected in December. New applicants, processing continues, but benefits at 50% approved depend on remaining contingency dollars prioritized for existing enrollees. Broader effects. Food banks report 2 to 3 times demand spikes. About 13 to 14 million were due benefits by November 5th. Many are using October care, but they didn't come. Listen to this. Over 13 to 14 million were due benefits by November 5th. They did not get benefits on November 5th. Many are using October carryover or local aid. Advocacy groups urge calling 211. Check state SNAP sites for resources. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. What is Trump going to do? Trump, let me tell you what Trump is going to do. Listen while I give you the layout. Trump pushes GOP senators to eliminate filibuster during record shutdown. Double tap, hit the like button, hit the super chat, hit the cash app. I need everybody watching right now. If everybody right now, double tap the screen, hit the like button. We'll be at 100 likes. It's so important to get to 100 likes to get the algorithm so we can broaden this conversation. I believe the American people need to understand the congressional math, how many votes, how many 219 versus 213 after millions of dollars, almost $1 billion spent by the Democrats. The House is still being held by the Republicans. The only way we get this conversation out is you double tap and hit the like button. Everybody right now, boop, 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 boop. Double tap, hit the like button as we go into our next topic of Trump and the filibuster. Boop, 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 boop. Double tap, hit the like button. On the top right-hand corner, you're going to see 3 dots. Those are called an ellipsis. You hit those 3 dots, that will give you the opportunity to hit the like button. At the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see, on the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see a downward facing chevron. Hit that downward facing chevron. It's going to give you access to the list of emojis. There's a laugh emoji. There's a heart emoji. If you agree with the content, you can hit the 100. Hit that. That's another way to like. Cheryl, what's up with you, Cheryl? Okay, let's go into the next topic. Let's go, MAGA. Let's go. Trump pushes GOP senator to eliminate filibuster during record shutdown on the 36th day of the longest U.S. government shutdown. Do you guys understand we are in the longest government shutdown in history? The longest government shutdown before today was 35 days under President Trump. I think it was 2018, 2019. Today marks the longest shutdown in American history with 36 days. This is very sad. I mean, we got 8 weeks left in this year. Do you guys know if you run a business, most businesses are already in the first quarter of 2026. You can't be planning, hey, $20 from Tammy, research facts over feelings. Thank you for that, Tammy. Thank you for that, Tammy. What we talking about? We talking about the filibuster. We're talking about 36 days. 35 days was the longest shutdown. You know, during the first Trump administration, like Mike Johnson said, like, we have to maintain the House because they will try to end the Trump presidency by trying to do impeachments. They tried to do a RICO on Trump, 36 counts of a RICO, but Trump got found innocent. So we know that the Democrats will play dirty. So it is so important, the topics that we're talking about today. 36 days of shutdown. The longest shutdown before today was 35 days under the last Trump administration. If you gotta wonder, right, what the Democrats' true goal is. They shut the government down before for 35 days in order to make Trump look bad. They're lying to you again as if they did not do this before. This is the worst part about the Democrats. They want to lie to you and say this is the Republicans' fault when they know they did this before. This is a tactic that they used against Trump before. This is not the first time that they've done this. Thank you to La Vista Palms for the $2 super chat. Both of you guys subscribe and join the channel. When you subscribe, you're going to get a plus sign. Hit that plus sign, join the channel, become a member. When you become a member, it will light your name up in the chat. You get special access to member-only videos, member-only live streams, and you get special emojis that are only unique to members of the channel. So there are special emojis that I created for you guys. When you join the channel, you get access to all these great benefits. And right now, I have a sale. Typically, to be a member is $10, but right now, and it's only a month, it's like 30 cents a day. It's not even $1 a day. Think about that. $10 a month is not even $1 a day. It's like 25 cents a day to be a member and support the channel, right? But right now we have a $2 membership. $2 a month, what is that? That's like 2 cents a day. So you can join the channel for $2 a month, 2 cents a day, and you should support the channel. Everybody right now, double tap, hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. Do like you saw La Vista, do like Tammy, hit the super chat, subscribe, and join. When you subscribe, hit that plus sign, and you can join at any level if you want. You could be a $2 holla, you could do an old timer, perfect timer, some timer, whatever you choose. But I truly appreciate everyone who watches and supports. And thank you to everyone. Let's go into the filibuster. I want to discuss right now with the chat and the audience, how do you feel about the filibuster? And what do you think about what Trump has said about the filibuster? Let's go into it right now. Do you understand the roles and responsibilities of the branches of government? Do you understand how the filibuster works in the Senate? Do you understand what the appropriation bill is? Do you understand what a clean CR is? Hey, I need to have some spelling words. I need you guys to join the channel and become members so that I can get some moderators, because I need to have some spelling words. I need to have we need to have a spelling bee and spelling words, especially for trolls who want to come in and talk. We need to immediately give them a spelling test, right? Do you know what a clean CR is? Huh? Do you know what the filibuster does? Do you know what the current congressional map? We need to have a spelling test. We need to have a math test for these trolls, because they come in and they don't know shit. La Vista just joined the channel. What's up, La Vista? Just became a member. $2 holla, man. Holla at your boy, man. $2 holla. Double tap at the like button. Everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to La Vista. Hey, LaVista, hit them emojis, man. Go ahead and put something in the chat so everybody can see what it looks like to become a member. Let everybody see them emojis. Let everybody see that membership has its benefits, baby. Membership has its benefits. Join the channel, man. This is the #1 conversation on YouTube. Listen to this. 36 days shut down. Who else is giving you this context so that you can really have an intelligent conversation? We're not begging for money, Neil. I am doing my job, brother. Neil, start a pod. Sherry just joined. Woo! Shout out to Sherry for joining. Welcome to the $2 holla. Light up the chat. I want all the members right now. Look at LaVista. See how you look at the chat, man? I want to buy 5 memberships. How do I do it? I don't know. Go ahead and gift. There's a way to gift memberships. I'm not really sure. Can somebody help her out? I want you to do it. Please do it. There's a way to gift memberships. You have to click a couple things. You're going to make me go do some homework because I don't know how to gift memberships. Somebody in the chat, help LaVista on how to gift out memberships. Thank you to Sherry. Thank you, everybody. You see how your names get lit up in the chat? So now when you make a comment, LaVista, when I'm doing my thing and you want to add to the conversation, click on the present. Mr. Perfect Thomas said, click on the present and you can gift memberships. So now you are a member. Mrs. Perfect Timing, throw some of them emojis in the chat. Show everybody the member-only emojis. Jesus is King 777 said, great work you doing, brother. Keep spreading the truth. Brother, you don't know how much that means to me. You just don't know how much that means to me. Can we say a prayer for Charlie Kirk real quick? Can we say a prayer for Charlie Kirk and his children and his family real quick? This job is not an easy job, brother. And, you know, I just want to say thank you. You don't know how much that means. You don't know. A lot of times I talk about who prays for the pastor. You know, the pastor's job is to look out for the flock, right? And a lot of times I'll be tired, brother, and I'll be like, who prays for the pastor? So, brother, you don't know how much that means to me. I want to say thank you and I love you. And I want to say back to you, God bless you. God bless your family. I pray a covering over you and your family, and I pray that you are blessed. And I know you are because you sent that blessing to me without any expectation. You know how great this thing is, man? That brother sent that blessing to me without any expectation. I love you. I love you and I thank you. Sherry, look at Sherry. You're looking good, man. Look at them emojis. So you got Donald Trump. Look at that Donald Trump happy face emoji. That's the things you got access to when you become a member. And then the other day we had like thousands of chats. We had thousands of people in the chat, and it's hard to get noticed and make your point when there's so many chats. When there's 1,000 people and there's 1,000 chats, how do you get your comment noticed, or how do you get the attention of the of the host? Become a member or use the super chat. You can put your comment in the super chat, become a member, and you get lit up in the chat. Everyone is focused on you. Sherry just said, love the way you think. Thank you, Sherry, for your support. Thank you, Mrs. Perfect Timing. Thank you for helping out those individuals in the chat. Let's read this about Trump and the filibuster. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. On this 36-day, the longest U.S. government shutdown in history, President Donald Trump met with 52 Republican senators at the White House. I didn't know this. I did not know. Remember, Trump ended all of the other shutdowns. The Democrats during his last presidency tried to shut down the government several times. The longest time was 35 days. We're in 36 days now. Now, the question should be, what are the Democrats doing to end the shutdown, and what are the Republicans doing to end the shutdown and get you food and money for the holiday season? Today, this is a MAGA-centric channel. This is all we do is win Wednesday. MAGA Republicans won yesterday. We held the party line. MAGA is still in control of the House, the Senate, and the White House. So the question is to us, what are we going to do about it? So I'm going to talk to you about it right now. On day 36, the longest government shutdown in American history, President Trump met with 52 Republican senators at the White House, urging them to terminate the Senate filibuster to reopen the government and enact voter ID requirements and ban mail-in voting. Trump warned that without this change, no major legislation could pass for over 3 years, and linked the shutdown to recent Republican electoral losses, while predicting Democrats would eliminate the filibuster to pack the Supreme Court and grant statehood to Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico. Senate Majority Leader John Thune rejected the proposal, advocating negotiations. John Thune got to go. Because I believe Trump is right, that the Democrats are going to do the same thing to get everything that they want, and they're not going to care. As Democrats demand a bipartisan meeting to resolve funding and healthcare disputes amid widespread impacts on federal workers and programs. Breaking, President Trump just told every Republican senator to their face they must end the filibuster or nothing will be passed for 3 years. Starting tonight, pass voter ID, no mail-in voting, all things to make our government great again. If you don't get it, you will never pass it. It is time for Republicans to do what they have to do. Terminate the filibuster. If you don't, you will be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation, no legislation for 3.25 years.
We should start tonight with the country's open. For Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25.
Tampa Bomb, you just got gifted a membership.
But when they can't do an
extension,
that's
dope.
And John, I think they've done an extension every single time they've ever been asked forever. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions are supposed to be easy, but if they won't do an extension,
thank you,
they won't do any
LaVista.
bill, even a simple bill. And we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills. We should open up. We should start tonight with the country's open. Congratulations. Then we should pass voter ID. We should pass no mail-in voting. We should pass all the things that we want to pass, make our elections secure and safe, because California is a disaster. Many of the states are disasters. But can you imagine when they vote almost unanimously against voter ID? All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. That's only for one reason, because they cheat. We would pass that in 15 minutes. If you don't get it, you'll never pass that. You'll never talk about mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots make it automatically corrupt. If you have mail-in ballots, automatically it's correct. Even Jimmy Carter, they had the Carter Commission after he got out of office, and he had a group of very distinguished people, Democrats and Republicans, and they passed, they recommended things take place. It was a long time ago. And they said about mail-in ballots, if there is mail-in ballots, there will definitely be corruption, because, you know, they pass through too many hands. I mean, you go in to vote and they want you cut.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you, Mr. President. I agree about the mail-in ballots. I don't like the drop boxes. I don't like the mail-in ballots. I live in California. I remember when Biden ran for president and it was the pandemic and they had these huge boxes outside and they were full to the brim. And remember the videos of people stuffing those voter boxes outside? That wasn't the main thing for me. The main thing for me was the fact that those boxes weren't picked up in a timely manner, right, to be counted.
And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want 5.
I mean, let's get some more from President Trump. Let's get some more from President Trump. But that was the thing I don't like about the mail-in ballots, and I don't like about the drop boxes.
Legislation at levels you've never seen before, and it'll be impossible to beat us. By the way, if they do, they're going to do it anyway, and they are going to immediately do the filibuster. And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want 5, at least 5 justices. Now I hear it's up to 5. I actually heard up to 7 and up to 9, okay? They want new judges. They want to pack the court, and they will do it in the first day, maybe the week. Maybe they'll slow it down, because there's no reason to rush. but they'll do it first week. They'll vote on this. And I have friends over there that are Democrats, I'm close to a lot of people. And I asked them about that because some people say, well, maybe they won't do that. I mean, they destroyed the career of Manchin and Sinema, and they got them out. They were the only objectors. Nobody else is going to object. They're going to do it the first day. They're going to pack the court. They're going to make D.C. a state, and they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. So now they pick up 2 states. They pick up 4 senators, okay? You think you have problems? They're going to do all of the things. They're going to pick up electoral votes. It's going to be a very, very bad situation. And it's done. It's done. As soon as they attain power. Now, if we do what I'm saying, they'll most likely never attain power because we will have passed every single thing that you can imagine that it's good and all good for the country. And there'll be no reason to. If we don't do that, people will say they're not doing much and they're in power. So the good news is we did the great, big, beautiful bill, and it's the greatest thing we could have done. And the smartest thing with John and
the big, beautiful bill, the big, beautiful bill is best and smartest thing we could have done. Shout out to President Trump and MAGA. Win, win, win. All we do is win Wednesday, recap election day.
I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it.
They're going to pass the filibuster. I agree. I agree. This is for President Trump desk. True Social tomorrow. United States Supreme Court case. So, the tariffs are going to be on court in the Supreme Court tomorrow. So we talked about the tariffs earlier. This is Donald Trump from his desk. Tomorrow, United States Supreme Court case is literally life or death for our country. With the victory, we have tremendous but fair financial and national security. Without it, we are virtually defenseless against other countries who have for years taken advantage of us. Our stock market is consistently hitting record highs, and our country has never been more respected than it is right now. A big part of this is the economic security created by tariffs and the deals that we have negotiated because of them. Thank you for all your attention to this matter. So right now, Supreme Court, President Trump, tariffs is on the stage, and I need you guys to call your local representatives and make sure that the tariffs stay in effect because of what I explained to you today about Napa, about Harley Davidson, and really the positive effects on American workers and small businesses that the Democrats won't be honest to you about.
No Trump!
So let's take a look at this. This is a protest this morning outside of the Supreme Court. This is what Democrats are doing. I don't want to hear nothing about nobody being hungry. You hear me? I don't want to hear nothing about no food stamps. I don't want to hear, because the Democrats should be educating people on the big, beautiful bill and the changes to entitlements. Do you know how hard that's going to hit when the government opens back up? And a lot of people are going to expect to get a food stamp check or a welfare check, and it's not going to come because the Democrats like Chuck Schumer didn't tell you about the big, beautiful bill laws going into effect. Instead, they wanted you to focus. They did the sleight of hand. You don't see anything. That's Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, the squad. You don't see anything. So a lot of you are going to be expecting food stamps. A lot of you are going to be expecting a welfare check. It's not going to come. You know why? Because your representatives are not doing politics. Huh? They not. Let me show you what the Democrats are doing. If you want to know, I just said Trump said, get rid of the filibuster. The Republicans are doing politics. Let me show you what the Democrats are doing. Yeah, I can dance. Go dance. Who is paying for this? Look at this. Who is paying for this? Who is paying for the costumes as you go hungry? Who is paying for the signs as you go hungry? Why are they not at work? They don't look hungry. These are some big, burly white women. They don't look hungry. Look at how big she is. She ain't missed one meal. Who is paying for that outfit? How is she affording to not go to work today? Who is paying for the signs, the bullhorns? I talked to you about logistics. I don't care how much it costs. Who is paying for it? Because it could have bought food. Do you understand my perspective? And what you should be worried about is hungry Americans. Not how much the outfits cost, just that the fact that they didn't spend the money on food. Do you understand? They didn't spend the money on food. All white women. All white women. No blacks, no Latinos, no minorities. All white women. White liberal women. Can I give a shout out to Steven Crowder and the Mug Club? See, when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, a lot of black people said Charlie Kirk was racist. I pushed back. You know why I pushed back? Because I knew they were full of shit. I knew they've never watched Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, like Andrew Tate and Steven Crowder, are not mainstream. To watch Steven Crowder, the Mug Club, to watch Andrew Tate, to watch Charlie Kirk, you had to go find them. You had to be a purveyor of the culture. Charlie Kirk wasn't on your timeline. Steven Crowder is not on your timeline. Andrew Tate is not on your timeline. So when all these black people came out that Charlie Kirk was racist and Charlie Kirk hurt my feelings, you're full of shit. You've never seen Charlie Kirk. You have to go look for him because people like this hide him. These white liberal women, that this is your real king. This is your real king. These white liberal women are the reason that Steven Crowder is on Rumble. Can I have a real talk this morning? These white liberal women who are saying no Trump, no fan. This is the reason Charlie Kirk was on Rumble. Hello? Can I have a real talk with you this morning? TPS USA did not have a representation on YouTube before Charlie Kirk's assassination. It was hidden away. Could anybody be honest in the chat? Steven Crowder and the Mug Club, they were not appreciated by white liberal women. They get canceled. Andrew Tate, Steven Crowder, Charlie Kirk got canceled by the white liberal women who are doing these chantings. I just wanted to point that out. These are all white liberal women, no blacks, no Latinos, no minorities. Black men overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Latino men overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Can we have a real talk this morning? I said black men overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Latino men overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Black men voted for Trump. Latino men voted for Trump. Who is this doing the protest? White liberal women. Oh, the frog. Don't forget about the frog. What is up with this damn frog? This is what the Democrats are doing. You go hungry and they give you a frog. No food, no shelter. The only reason women and infants have milk is because of Trump's tariffs, and the Democrats give you a frog. The Democrats give you a frog and a bunch of white women in red dresses shouting no Trump. This is the reality on the ground. A bunch of white liberal women, the type of women who didn't like Charlie Kirk, the type of women who don't like Steven Crowder. Huh? These are the white liberal women who think it's okay for men to go to the bathroom with little girls. Do you remember all the white liberal women who stood up for bathrooms? It was, to me, I couldn't believe it. I saw two white women arguing. I saw a white woman, a liberal white woman, call a Republican white woman homophobic. It was the most amazing thing. It was during the last administration. This white woman didn't want men in sports. And this white liberal woman attacked her. Attacked her because she didn't want her daughter to go to the bathroom with a man in there. This is you can't make this up. I didn't tell them to wear that. The Democrats are doing it to themselves. The Democrats are doing it to themselves. I didn't tell them to wear that. I didn't tell them to do that on the 5th of November when people are not getting food stamps, when the big, beautiful bill just went into law and the restrictions are higher. They are having fun. Can we be honest? They are having fun. These are rich, white, liberal women. They don't have to go to work. They don't have to worry about food and money. So they're dressing up, cosplay. This is cosplay for them. That they care about politics and they care about you. They don't. They just having fun. They might even vote for Trump. This is fun for these white women. And it's detrimental to you. So white women, while you're hungry, I just wanted to point out, what are the Democrats doing to get the government back open? So everybody in the chat who's trolling me right now, does this get the government back open? Okay? I want to know. This is what the Democrats are doing to get the government. How does this get the government back open? How it didn't work. We're still in power in the House. It's 219 and 213. You spent $1 billion on the election yesterday. The Republicans still have the majority. And you are in the streets. All these white women in costumes. It's like Halloween is over. Can I get Halloween is over in the chat? Can we get Halloween is over in the chat? Americans are hungry. Can we get Halloween is over? Americans are hungry in the chat. Can I get Halloween is over? Americans are hungry in the chat. Can I get Halloween is over? Americans are hungry in the chat. For the Democrat white liberal women, they're still celebrating Halloween. They're doing cosplay. They're playing dress up. Even if you're going to protest, thank you, Mrs. Perfect Time, and Halloween is over. Even if you were going to protest, why did you need to dress up? Why did you do cosplay? Why did you spend money on costumes when people are hungry? You could have took that money to the food bank. Why isn't any Halloween is over? Halloween is over. Halloween is over. That money could have went to food banks. Why did you spend money on costumes on November 5th? Why did you spend $500 million on 5 seats that don't matter? Why did you spend $500 million, Gavin Newsom? Gavin Newsom, we don't have water in California. Do you guys know, Californians, if it's another fire, you have all right to be pissed at Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, you know the reservoir, everybody listening, you know the reservoir that went dry, it's still dry. Gavin Newsom just spent $500 million on 5 seats in a special election. He could have spent that money on a reservoir. What about Gavin Newsom's over budget construction? Gavin Newsom is over budget $3 billion in 5 years. Did you guys know about Gavin Newsom's budget overrun in his construction? Let me ask my AI assistant. Give me details. Give me details on Governor Newsom construction overspending and time issues. Because everybody wants to talk about Trump and Trump building the White House on private funds. But Gavin Newsom has a construction project that doesn't get talked about a lot of the time. Projects. I'm not talking about the high-speed rail. High-speed rail, 45 billion, 2008 voter bond, right? Current estimated cost, 128 billion to 135 billion full system, 89 billion for scale back segment, 2020 initial operation, full by 2030 segment. Let's see, housing development, Capital Annex, Sacramento. This is what I want to talk about. $1 billion estimate, $1 billion escalating, completion 2026, ongoing audits pending. I want to hear more about the Capital Annex. And of course, they won't give me Capital Annex. Capital Annex. It initiated in 2018. It aims to replace the aging annex with modern, systemic compliant facility, including offices for lawmakers, parking garage, and public spaces. The project has drawn intense scrutiny for ballooning costs, lack of transparency, and deviations from the original scope, becoming a flashpoint in debates over government spending under Governor Gavin Newsom. As of November 5th, 2025, construction is underway on the south side of the Capitol in Sacramento, but the initiative remains mirrored in controversy amid California's $12 billion budget deficit. Can we have a real talk this morning? California, $12 billion budget deficit. Oh my goodness. California, $12 billion budget deficit. Project background and timeline. Original plan 2018 approved by the legislature as a straightforward renovation of existing 68-year-old annex to address systemic vulnerabilities and overcrowding. It was pitched as a cost-effective upgrade to house 120 lawmaker staff, governor, and lieutenant governor. 2019-2020 key milestones, design phase, bonds authorized for funding, 2021 lawsuit from preservation group Save Our Capital halts work over inadequate environmental review under CEQA. This is why Tesla didn't build here, because as soon as you start building, you get these lawsuits. A bill exempting the project from CEQA, resuming construction. So Tesla couldn't do that. So they sue them over environmental things that they create. Gavin Newsom creates, Trump talks about this all the time, about the Democrats and this environmental thing, how they steal money. So Gavin Newsom creates all these environmental requirements for Elon Musk and Tesla. But when Gavin Newsom goes to build something, he doesn't adhere to those requirements. He says, fuck it, and just goes around it by creating a law that says, I don't have to adhere to it. But if Tesla wants to build something, they got to comply with CEQA. That's number one. 2024, $700 million in additional funding approved via budget trailer bill signed by Gavin Newsom. April 2025, public revelation of cost surge. Demolition of West Steps begins despite protests. November 25, heightened media and political backlash with Newsom promising more transparency after tense press exchange. Construction ongoing. Lawmakers working in temporary swing. Do you believe this? The lawmakers in California are working in temporary swing office space, meaning costing us more money. The office space renovation costing us billions of dollars. You fucked it up, Gavin Newsom. So now you got to rent out office space. That cost us more money. You just spent $500 million on a special election. I don't even know how many people even know about this shit. Overspending details. The project cost has doubled. Listen to this, and this ain't Trump White House renovation is privately funded. This is your taxpayer dollars. The project costs have more than doubled, drawing comparisons to extravagant bills like the NFL stadiums or even White House ballroom expansion under President Trump, which Newsom has publicly criticized. The difference is the White House is privately funded. And this is taxpayer dollars that you keep stealing from. Funding comes entirely from taxpayer-backed bonds repaid over time with no private contributors. But at White House, it is private contributors. So let's look at the total project. In 2018, they said it was $500 million. The current estimate is $1.2 billion, 120% increase. They call this scope creep. Huh? Come on, man. $500 million in bonds, $1.1 billion in bonds, bond sales in 2024, additional allocations. Man, this is just Gavin Newsom stealing money, man. This is Gavin Newsom stealing money, but they want to talk to you about EBT. Let me get back to this shutdown. I had another day 36 of the longest shutdown in history. DEMS screamed chaos and dumped $500 million on blue state pity parties. Result, Virginia flips, Jersey holds, NYC goes socialist, and Republicans still run the House 219 and 213. Listen to this. Day 36 of the longest shutdown in history. Dems screamed chaos and dumped $500 million on blue state pity parties. What is the result? Virginia flips, Jersey holds, NYC goes socialist, and the Republicans still run the House. 219 to 213. Trump's tariffs are still law. Doge is still cutting, and the filibusters on death row. This ain't a loss. It's a red line warning shot. Buckle up, Patriots. The real fight starts now. Woo! MAGA, man. MAGA, man. It's a MAGA, man. What else I got for my peoples, man? What else I got for my peoples? The U.S. shutdown, the U.S. government shutdown, the partial U.S. federal government shutdown now in its 36th day since October 1st has officially become the longest in American history, surpassing the 35-day 2018-2019 shutdown under Trump's first term. Economic costs mounting $1.2 billion per CBO estimates, totaling $40 billion so far, with over 900,000 federal workers furloughed or unpaid, flight delays spiking, and food aid strain. Yesterday's off-year elections, Dems winning in Virginia, New Jersey, NYC have cranked up pressure with both sides, pointing fingers but hints of bipartisan talks emerging. No resolution yet. Senate's 14th failed vote on House passed stopgap CR to November 21st came Tuesday, 54 to 44, short to 60 votes. That's the Trump breakfast with the Senate. Trump had a breakfast with the GOP at the White House. Trump urged Republicans to nuke the filibuster for budget bills on broader priorities like tariffs and immigration. To break the impasse, it's time, he said bluntly. He blamed the shutdown for the GOP election losses, but framed it as Dem obstruction. Senator John Corwin, Republican of Texas, echoed, "We can't tolerate a willful minority shutting down anytime." Senator Banks, Republican of Indiana, posted, "Time to reopen and get back to work." Man. The Democrats' post-election push. Senator and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer took to the floor for a victory lap, calling results a five-alarm fire for Trump GOP demanding negotiations. So that's very scary. Chuck Schumer today is celebrating. What does that say about the government reopening? If the Democrats think that they're winning and they did a good job. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are celebrating today. They think they did good yesterday. So they must think that the shutdown is working for them. Hey. Hello? Yeah. What's up, babe? You're not saying nothing.
Here, baby. Your lunch is on the stove. Love you. Let go.
You didn't just hear me say hey?
I've been here the whole time.
Why you didn't say nothing?
Because you were busy. I don't want to interrupt you.